back to another video. It is GuyPlayer28 and here we are back with another video. So we're doing an Avengers Endgame review. It has just come out yesterday for New Zealand, but for America, US, well, that's the same thing. I mean, Europe and all those other countries, it is coming out tomorrow for you guys. So, warning, this is a spoiler. There'll be some of the biggest spoilers in this review. I can release a spoiler-free one, but just for this review, there'll be spoilers. So if you have not seen it, I recommend you pause the video, watch it, come back, and then click play, because I do not want to ruin the movie for you, because the less you know, the more you'll enjoy this movie, because there is some incredible twists. It is just, let me just say, amazing movie. It is very emotional. The people who got to see it on premiere on Monday, who got the fan pack, they even got tissues, because that's how sad it was, and I agree, it was very sad. Yeah, my friend brought tissues to the movie, and yeah, it was very emotional. What else? Yes, in this movie, it's got a very big cast. I would say bigger than Infinity War. Infinity War had about 64 main actors in it, so this movie, I think, tops out like 68 or something. I don't know, but it was big cast, and let's just say it's crazy. Yeah, the Russell brothers did a very good job, so applause to them. Oh, sorry, that failed. So the summary of this movie takes place not as the very second, but very short after in Infinity War. So you see Hawkeye with his family, and he's teaching his daughter how to shoot a bow, and then she shoots it, gets the bullseye and whatever, and then she goes to collect it, and he turns around, talks to his wife, and then as soon as he looks back, his daughter's vanished, when Thanos did the click, and all the people turn to dust. Well, his family turned to dust, and that leaves him in a depression, devastated and ruined sort of state. So then he becomes Ronin and goes out killing people who are gangs, thugs, bad people who, stuff like that, and he kills them, and he's a very different person. In this movie, he is, very different. And then we also see how you see Captain America shave his beard, and then it goes off 5 years later, and they're still in a very depressed sort of state. They're not moving on. They're just still holding on to the grief that Thanos did. Oh no, actually, rewind 10 seconds before 5 years, they actually kill Thanos. So this big guy, the guy who clicked his fingers, erased half the universe, went down, got killed in the first 10 minutes of the movie. He was dead. Yes. It was kind of a sad way he died, that early on in the movie, because he got beheaded, as you know, in Infinity War. Thanos said to Thor, go for the head. Well, he went for the head, and he got beheaded, and he's dead. So that was with him, and then, but the most annoying thing was that Thanos had destroyed the stones, so they couldn't just simply go click, click, and all the people who he killed, like Spider-Man, Groot, Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, Hope. Sorry, I'm just trying to think about all this. And all the other people, the half the universe he killed, they couldn't get them back because the stones were destroyed. So 5 years later, depression state, everyone was still holding on to that grief. Thor had went out and got himself fat by drinking beer and playing Fortnite for 5 years straight, and Iron Man had a daughter. Ant-Man was still in the quantum realm, but we'll get to him later. Captain America shaved his beard finally, yay, and yes, he looks good now. He looks like that in Avengers Age of Ultron and Avengers, not like that weird person with a beard in Infinity War. Bad Cap. Okay, anyway, continuing, after this 5 years, they think about time travel, and then they realize, because Ant-Man gets out of the quantum realm, But to him, it wasn't 5 years like everyone else. It was only 5 hours. He was stuck in the quantum realm. So then that makes him believe that you can time travel, time jump, like Back to the Future, they time travel on that. So he goes and suggests that to Captain America, and they all like the idea, but they can't think of a way to make that possible. So they put their brains together and think of who might, and then they discover Iron Man. So then they go and visit Iron Man, but Iron Man rejects them and says, no, I like this life. I have a daughter, I have a family, and I don't want to do this. I could die or stuff. So he's all moody and stuff. So he says no. And then they have to go back, and then they're like thinking who has a better brain than Iron Man, or who is smarter, or who has a bigger brain. And that leads us to the Hulk. Yes, Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner, whoever you want to call him. But he's more Hulk in this movie. He is... Because you notice gradually in the movies, Bruce Banner is more turning the Hulk into like a person. He's like not as... He's a very animal-like creature. He can't speak in the first Avengers. But then in Age of Ultron, he can start speaking, and he's slowly like not as vicious animal-like. And then in this movie, he's like completely human. Like Bruce Banner and the Hulk are one. Like it's crazy. It's you just see the movie for yourself and you'll see what I mean. But so they talk to him and they find out, and then he makes time travel possible, but their first go doesn't go quite well to plan. So Ant-Man does it, he volunteers, Scott Lang, and when he does it, he comes back as a baby. And then they bring him back, he comes back as an old man. And then they do that and they eventually get him back, but it didn't go down to plan. They created paradox and stuff, but that only lasts a little bit. And then, annoyingly, Tony Stark comes, but it's good that he comes. But, like, he wasn't there earlier, or he said no first. So, he comes, and then he helps the Hulk with their time travel, and then they make time travel possible. So, their plan is to travel back in time, get their stones from where they were, because these people now know where the stones are, so they can go back in time, steal the stones, do the click, and then get the people back, like Spider-Man and all them, return the stones, and then live a normal life. That is your plan. But it is not as simple as it seems, because it's never as simple. In Marvel movies, everything goes wrong, pretty much. So they break into small teams, because with Ant-Man, you have to go into the quantum realm to be able to achieve this. And since Ant-Man has he has enough for everyone to do one trip, so they have pressure to not muck up. And if they do muck up, then they failed. So they break up into teams. They realise there are 3 stones in New York in 1 year. That is the movie which the first Avengers happened. There is Loki's Tesseract, let me just show you, the Sorceress and Doctor Strange, her stone. And then there's one more, let me think. The Tesseract stone. Oh, there's one more. Yeah, there's 3 in that area. Can't remember the third one. But I'm sure you guys will know, so yes. And then there's one with Thor in his world. His mother, no, not his mother, someone has it in this movie, so they'll get it off her, travel back in time. And then there's some, the Guardians of the Galaxy, in the first part of the movie when Chris Pratt's dancing around trying to steal the first stone, they go back and steal it off him, which is not much of a challenge. And then I believe there's one more, the Soul Stone. So they break up into teams of like 3 or 2, and then they go and get each one off, each thing. So before you watch this movie, I recommend you see pretty much all the Marvel movies, but since they'll take about 43 hours or so, and you'll most likely see it like by the time I upload this video tomorrow, and that only gives you like a span of 18 hours to watch it. I recommend Infinity War, or definitely Avengers, the first one. Captain America, the first Avenger. That's if you have time though. And not Ant-Man. Doctor Strange, Thor: The Dark World, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, possibly Iron Man. I believe that's all you need to see. And Age of Ultron, maybe just the beginning part, because that has the stone where... Because S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in the first movie that are actually Hydra agents take it off and move it to this place in Age of Ultron, where they take it off first in the first 10 minutes. So that may be a movie you want to see if you can't remember that part. But yeah, so they break up into teams, and this is when the first death happens. So, like in the Infinity War, how Gamora was traded for the Soul Stone. When Ronan, the new Ronan, and Black Widow go and get off the Soul Stone, they realise they have to sacrifice one another, so they do a bit of a fight, and Ronan says, "I'll sacrifice myself," but then Black Widow ends up sacrificing herself and killing herself, so that is the first major death. It's emotional and very sad, so tissues out there. Yeah. And then they manage to... Captain America, Tony, and Bruce Banner are all in this part, stealing the stones off New York. They end up getting the Tesseract and the Sorceress Lady stone, the time travel. But then there's there's one stone there's one stone they don't get off. So they have to travel back in time to somewhere between Captain America, the First Avenger, and this movie, to this war base to steal that one. And it's quite cool how Tony meets his dad, but Tony hasn't been born yet until a couple weeks, so that's quite funny. But they get all the stones back, but when they go back to the place in Guardians of the Galaxy, Nebula and War Machine, when they go and do that, Nebula's old self, the past self, has got the same network as Nebula in the present future, so they can see what the future people are doing. So Thanos realizes what they're trying to do. He realized that he's completed his goal, but they're trying to prevent that. So Nebula captures future Nebula and replaces herself. So then she will be going back to the future time to muck up the Avengers plans. So they go in, the Avengers go back to normal time. Hulk snaps his fingers with the glove, because they've got, not Thanos' glove, but Iron Man has made a glove that can hold the stones. So they do that, and then all the people come back, but not straight away. But they're not there with them at the moment. They're like in different places, because how Tony Stark was at the planet Titan, and like how Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Drax, Mantis, and all of them disappeared on Titan, so they'll have to travel back to Earth. And then how, yeah, that's pretty much the major. And then other people from Wakanda disappeared and all that stuff, so they'll have to travel to where they are now. So after that, so as Nebula was trying to muck up the plans, she brought Thanos from the past to the future. So then Thanos can kill the Avengers, get the stones, but his goal now is not to wipe out half the universe. His goal is to wipe out the whole universe and create a new universe using the stones. A universe that isn't like the universe we have now, like a universe that will be under his command and it'll be like peaceful. So that's his new dream, but the Avengers, of course, won't let that happen. So Captain America, Thor, all of them, they have quite a big fight with Thanos, and Thanos doesn't win this fight. Like, it's kind of like a draw, but like Thanos does get quite weakened. But Captain America, here's a surprise, wields Thor's hammer. Like, Captain America is true, like he is the true king of Asgard pretty much. So he can wield Thor's hammer. Good man, Cap. And they have a big fight there. Stuff happens, and then Thanos' ship crew comes, and then there's like a small, like, as they come, the Avengers are mostly beaten, but then through portals, Doctor Strange's portals, all the other people from Wakanda, Asgard, thousands of wizards, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, they all come through, and they are like, and then they're like, we are the Avengers, and And then they fight with Thanos' army for like a couple minutes, 10 minutes, and then they realise how they destroy the stones. Destroy the stones is... No, they've got to send the stones back in time, so then they try and do that, and I think, that fails, because there's... Scott Lang's van is in the middle of all this, so they're trying to get to there, but then Thanos destroys that, and then Tony and Thanos have a fight. It's a pretty intense fight. By the way, Captain Marvel comes in this fight just beforehand, I forgot. And she destroys Thanos' army and ship. Goes kaboom, kaboosh, kabash. Destroys a bunch of stuff that is Thanos's. Thanos' army is dying now, kind of, but there's still a whole lot of them, but they're weakened because of Captain Marvel, which this is one reason why I didn't like it. These Avengers fought for like the whole movie for 2 hours, and then she comes in and does so much damage, everything, and it's like, is she that powerful? Should she really be able to do that? And then, so back to the Tony and Thanos fight. So Thanos and Tony are having this epic battle, and then Tony gets the Infinity Stones off Thanos and clips his fingers, and instead of erasing half of humanity and all them, he erases Thanos' whole army and turns Thanos into dust. So, but doing this, Tony dies. Very sad. Tony kills himself by using the stones, because the stones have too much power. They should not be wielded by man, like they should be wielded by someone like Thanos, the Hulk, Thor, God of Lightning, or they should be wielded by someone like that, but since Tony wielded them and he wasn't strong enough, so he killed Thanos, but killed himself at the same time, and then there's a funeral parade. Yes, very sad. And then they win, of course, and Captain America goes back to return all the stones, but instead of coming back like he should have, he decided to go back to the girl he liked, who he had a date with in the first Avenger, because he never got to go out with her and stuff, so he had a life for the first time, and then he got all old when Endgame, so he retired. My favourite Avenger. But, he passed the shield down to the Falcon, Sam, and then that was it. Well, I think there was a bit more, but yeah. So my rating on this is a 4.9 Infinity Stars out of 5 stars. So it's a very good movie. I would recommend you watching it. It is a must-see if you have not seen it, but I've just pretty much spoiled about the whole movie. So yeah, but it is amazing, masterful, masterpiece movie done by the Russell brothers. It is probably the best movie out of all the Marvel movies so far to date. You must watch it. It is so creative. All the fan theories that I've seen are nothing like this. They're creative. It's pretty much a movie made by fans, but a Marvel movie. It is epic. And if you have not done, please like and subscribe and turn the notifications on. Press the bell. And please, please, please comment and stay watching my recent videos. And thanks, guys.